So, welcome back. It's another boat day. This is part 2 of tank removal for Much Calmer. If you've been following along, you'd know that we had a fuel tank leak back in April, and since then we had been using the boat with just using one fuel tank, which is perfectly fine because we weren't going that far. But early October we decided to haul her out to do the anti-foul and so forth, and that was the time that we decided that we'd remove the fuel tanks. So if you've watched part 1, getting that first tank out was an absolute nightmare, and we had decided at the time that we weren't going to even look at the second tank because we had pretty much a gutful of getting stuff out. Anywho, we went on a holiday for 3 weeks and it got the better of us, and we decided that when we came home we would in fact take the second tank out, because it was naive of us to think that we wouldn't have had the same problem eventually with the second tank. So anyway, so here's the video of us pulling the second tank out. Yeah, again, it's a bit of a drama, but anyway, here we go. Okay, today is Monday the 13th of November. Yesterday we came down and took the fuel out of the second fuel tank, and Tony's been down since about 9:30 this morning and disassembled the walls. So we've got out there 2 walls and a timber bracing wall, and now we're left with, there's the tank. So far on time. He had hoped that by lunchtime he would have those walls out and be ready to make the first cut into the tank. So far so good. Let's see how this afternoon goes. So since cutting the tank in half, we've been about an hour. It's been an hour and a half, but we have movement in the first half. So we have the first half out. Just a little look in there, and there it is. There is some, yeah, we're going to have trouble, or we would have had trouble. So it was a good decision to get it out. So it's been over an hour since we've taken the first half of the tank out, and this second half is just not budging. It is lodged so firmly between the floor and the tank with this breather pipe, and it is just not going to move. Tony's decided that brute force it is, and if we destroy part of the underneath of the floor, so be it, but this piece of tank has got to come out.
All that room, we could put battery banks on both sides of the boat. Remove the Cummins, put an electric motor in there. Look at it, huge amount of room. Now that there's no fuel tanks.
So let's just okay, so both bits are out. It's out. This is the second piece, well, fourth piece. This is the third piece. We've just had a little conversation because I didn't press record at the right time, and we figured that we might as well just pull the whole engine out while we're here, because, you know, why not? And then we could lift that. There's only a few bolts holding that down, but then we'd have to take the whole back wall off the boat to get it out. But hey, why not do that too while we're at it? Just like, this is ridiculous. But anyway, it's done. We will never have to worry about fuel tanks, ever again. Good job. So time now is about 2:45. Tony's reattached the pipes and things that he had to take off to get that second half or the second fuel tank out. Yeah, well, now we have to get them off the boat, off the back of the boat into the ute. He's going to take them home and cut them square and give them a gurney and just see how many little holes we've got, and then they will go off to Parkies either late this afternoon or tomorrow, and hopefully they'll be repaired in the next week or so. And then yeah, the next part begins. Degreasing the whole engine bay, getting those tanks back in, and then start all the other things that need to be done. A million things, but anyway, but the tanks are out, so yay for that.
I want to give it back.
Yep, come on. Well, yeah,
Not really, is it?
it's the second part.
Yes.
There's the ledge.
Toes.
So when we went to clean the engine bay, Tony found this beautiful little thing. It's a roller, a fiberglass roller that had been left down there when the boat was being built. And there's probably also a 1/4 inch of builder's dust all in the bottom that hadn't been cleaned or vacuumed or anything, just left there. So now it's kind of like a 1/4 inch of builder's mud in the bottom. Looks like this is another likely culprit to our problem. So it would appear that these screws at least were put in and not screwed in far enough, and then when the fuel tank's gone in and filled up with fuel, they've just bent over and have been rubbing since probably day one. that the boat had fuel in. So there you go. And while we're waiting for her to be fixed, we also have to make some decisions as to which marina we're going to put her in when she's all done. Insurance has it so tied up that although Much Calmer is fully insured, in a named cyclone, if she's not in a designated marina space and she gets damaged, we are not covered. So yeah, we do have a spot for her at Coral Sea Marina until the 24th of January, but after that we don't quite know where we're going. So Mackay, Townsville, Gladstone, who knows. The tanks have been at Parkies for near on 5 weeks, but here they are in the back of the ute, all shiny and fixed. So we're going to pressure test them today and hopefully back in the boat soon. Here we are, back down, another boat day. Surprise, surprise. The tanks have been picked up from Parkies today. We've had them pressure tested, but 2 of them had leaks, so they've gone back and been fixed, and we've got them down at the boat. And Brian's going to give Tony a hand to try and get them back, at least onto the back deck, and then see how we go, getting some things back into the boat instead of off the boat. Fingers crossed. And I thought I might give you a little bit of info on the tanks. Originally we had 2 tanks, each side holding about 580 litres. So now that we've got 4 smaller tanks, each of these tanks will hold just over 200 litres. So we're still going to have 800 plus litres on board all the time. So that's heaps enough for us. And this has been home for Much Calmer for the last 7 weeks. Not going to lie, the whole process is so overwhelming sometimes, and yes, there are tears. But when I drive down here and see some really broken dreams, I am thankful that we are so much closer to getting her back in the water. And when I say we, that's kind of a stretch. It's not really we, it's Tony. I hold a camera and I pass tools, and I'm there to listen to him vent when things don't work properly, but at the end of the day, it's all him. We could never have paid someone to do the work that Tony's had to do on this boat to date. He is quite extraordinary. And this is where we'll finish this video. Hopefully next time I'm here, I'll be able to share with you how we put the tanks back in, show you how we get the antifoul on, and then hopefully getting her back in the water. And a super big favour would be if you could hit the like button and the subscribe button and help us get this channel moving.